Season 6 of Superior Angling TV is brought to you by RJ Sport and Cycle and the rest of our fine sponsors. All right, let's check our depth here. Turn on our MX7 and good morning and welcome to this episode of Superior Angling. As you can see, we're on big water and we are here in the Apostle Islands on Lake Superior. And our goal today is to chase after lake trout in deep water. Now, if there's one thing about this fishery, you know, I'm not talking browns and splake and cohos and shallower. Lake trout out in the islands more is that, yes, there's big potential, but yes, you can fail a lot. We've tried to film a show out here maybe 5 or 6 times to no avail because there are many days where fish don't bite out here. So we are going to take whatever the big lake gives us today in hopes of putting a few lake trout on the ice. Now we're going to be targeting 140 to 150, maybe even 170 feet of water. Right here we're in about 145, so that's pretty close. We may move a little bit, but this is kind of the right depth that I want to get at. It seems like when you get 150 to 200 feet, your odds of catching lake trout and being successful are increased a little bit. So we are going to kind of fine tune our location here, get our Eskimo 650 hub house set up, get some heat going. This is kind of this type of structure that we're fishing right here. It doesn't pay to move around. So we're gonna get nice and comfortable inside our Eskimo pop-up because it's cold out here today. And we're gonna jig away for some lake trout. Stick with us, I'm excited. It's gonna be a good one. All right, now when we talk deep water, we need to be geared up with some heavy gear. So these are the 42-inch Apex Predator rods from St. Croix that can handle big, heavy lures. This is a 2-ounce bionic bucktail from North and Tackle. This is a 1-ouncer, and we have 20-pound braid, 15-pound fluorocarbon leaders. Now, we use big, heavy rods like this not necessarily to handle big fish. Yes, they're down there, and yes, we have a good chance at catching them. But when you're sitting there jigging these big, heavy lures for hours on end, your arm will get fatigued with too light of a rod. So you really want a rod that can handle the gear that you're using. And again, we want to use we maybe even use 3-ounce jigs today because it's Lake Superior. There's a ton of current. Ideally, you want to stay as vertical as you can. So you need big, heavy lures. And with big, heavy lures, you need a big, heavy rod that can stand up to the occasion. And this 42-inch CCI Apex Predator from St. Croix can do the job. All right, we have our pop-up set up, the heat going, and we are ready to fish. So we're gonna get this Northern Bionic bucktail down there. A variety of lures will work out here. This is just kind of a standby for me. I know that it's going to get down to bottom. I don't exactly know how much current is here. I always like to have a little bit of current. I feel like that just means that bait's coming through and the fish can come through. If it's stagnant water, no current, I feel like you struggle sometimes and don't catch fish. So I know, a bait like this bucktail's gonna shed the current easy. It's gonna get down to bottom, and it comes in, up to 2 ounces. So it's a very nice and good productive bait with that stinger hook on there. I love baits with stinger hooks because some days that's all that you catch these fish on. So again, these bionic bucktails come in a variety of colors. you know, some days it can matter, some days it doesn't. It all depends on what mood the trout are in. And we're hoping today that they're in a good mood. So we're gonna put a little bit of cut bait on here, get a little scent on there, send this down, and hopefully it's gonna be, it won't be too long before we get a fish. So 145 feet of water right here. Our jigging cadence is just gonna be to let this pound on bottom, try to get us lake trout to chase. I don't know if they're gonna chase today or not. It seems like some days they do, some days they don't. Even some hours they do and some hours they don't. So they're lake trout. Winter lake trout can be very finicky, can be very picky. So we're just kind of rolling the dice and hopefully, and hoping that they're gonna bite today. So let's get this bait down there. She a long way down there. You seen any current over there?
No, not much right now.
Not much right now.
Oop.
There you go, buddy.
Oh yeah. Hooked up. It's just pounding the bottom. I just seen a little flicker on the Markham there on the showdown side. And this thing just came up and clobbered it. And 42 feet of water here. Got them at 70 now. Using the Apex Predator here for these deep water lakers. It definitely holds up well. God, that fish just shot up and crushed it, man. This deep water, you want a nice heavy rod like this Apex Predator to keep the fish pegged. There you go. Sweet. I'll take it. Nice lake trout. Hit the hair jig there. Yeah, I'd say it's what, 27 inches or so. Pretty crazy to pole fishing like this in 140 feet of water. Fun, long fight, nice battle. It's a nice fish too. Got a lot of life in it. Come on. That's awesome.
Man, I see you good on there.
Ooh, he's gonna hit you.
He's charging.
He's chasing you like crazy, buddy. Oh, come on.
It's just like look away and just like flinch.
Ooh, there he is.
He is on me
That's a
still.
big fish, Grant.
Oh, he's going back down.
That's a big one. That's a big
Followed
one.
me up 20 feet.
Yeah, he was chasing you that whole entire time. There he is. He's back. Ooh, he's chasing you.
Got him.
Got him, buddy.
That's big. That's
a
big,
big
Busker.
fish.
That's big. Oh,
I'm getting
my
on my
heart's
way.
going, Busker. My heart's going, Busker.
That's sweet.
My heart's going. Busker, that is insane. My heart is just 150 feet of water, man. Like, it's an adrenaline rush. And you see these fish on your graph just cruise up and down. They're so fast and they are just so energetic. And it's truly, like, we're hunting right now. I mean, this isn't fishing, this is hunting. Deep water, heavy gear, the 42-inch Apex Predator, and what can be big lake trout, man. I mean, there's nothing more exciting out here on Lake Superior than this. My heart's going a million miles an hour. It is such a long battle up. There's my leader. We're gonna get a look at this fish here. Look at that, man. That's a beautiful, beautiful lake trout on that Northland Bionic bucktail. 2 ounces, 150 feet of water. It does not get more fun than that. That's a nice lean lake trout there. I cannot say enough about this when you are lucky and fortunate enough for these fish to eat. It's not every day that they eat out here. So, I mean, you literally cherish every single fish and you take what the big lake gives you, because a lot of days she gives you nothing, but when she does give you fish, it's simply magical. What a fish that is. And that's why I like this Northland Bionic bucktail. It's got that stinger hook that's connected by steel wire. Without that stinger hook, I would not have caught that fish right there. It's all about that stinger. I love that bait. Unbelievable. That one's on you, Busker.
Yep.
I'm just dropping down. It's just crazy, the active flurries of fish. Like, there'll be nothing for 10, 15 minutes and all of a sudden fish show up and they're active. And you just got to have your baits down there. I'm getting into the strike zone right now. Look at that one shooting up. He's coming, he's coming, he's coming. Fish! That was crazy, man. Unbelievable. He just darted up. Did you see that?
Yeah, we got another one down there too.
This one feels decent. That is so, the aggression of a lake trout is something you have to experience. And it is so cool when, come February, you get ice in places like the Apostle Islands here, and you can get out and chase after this lake trout in deep water. It's fun. It's fun to catch these fish in shallow water, but to catch them in 140, 150, guys out here even fishing 200, like it's something special. I think we're getting close here. That's a long way up, buddy.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's a nice battle.
He never got a big run on me, so I don't presume he's too big, but look at that one there. Oh, buddy. Heck yeah, man. And look he ate that jig good. He just came up and throttled it. And that's what you'd expect when you see a fish rise up that fast with that much aggression. It's nice to have that stinger hook for insurance, but when you can get that main hook of the bionic bucktail in that fish's lip, he's not coming off. That's a nice trout, huh?
Oh yeah, very nice one.
We might keep that one for dinner. That'd be a good eater there. I don't know, nothing huge, but 3 pounds, 4 pounds. So much fun out of deeper water. And all that is on, again, it's a bionic bucktail with some meat on there, some scent. And that's the thing about Lake Superior. Super clear water. These fish can literally see up 80, 90 feet. They see, trust me, they see your bait coming from a long ways away. And like that fish just darted up and ate it. So nice one. We'll go ahead and keep him, but this is fun. We're putting fish on the ice. And like I said, it's not every day that you catch fish like this. So you really got to enjoy it well you can, because lake trout through the ice are a special, special fish, and we're right here in Wisconsin. That's cool. Fish. Got him. Feels like a decent one, Busker.
Yeah, buddy.
Man, you're just sitting there, just bouncing it off bottom. You're half not even paying attention, just trying to get into that rhythm. Lift, drop, lift, drop, lift, drop. And then you feel weight, and it's fish on. Feels like a decent one, I don't know. Look at that.
Another nice trout.
Yeah, not a bad one, man. It's a little smaller guy. But that just shows you the tenacity of these fish. I mean, that's a 2-ounce jig, and that's like a 2-pound fish. And he was not coming off. You can see we got him on the primary hook of that bionic bucktail. And that's when you know they eat it good. So little fat lake trout, we'll take him. And by fat, I mean, I kind of refer to the subspecies of lake trout out here. You can tell on this one, he's got a shorter snout on him. So like this one would have pretty pale meat. I would not recommend to eat this fish. Obviously edible and, could be pretty good, but it would have more pale meat and a little bit more fat on the meat. You can just tell by their noses. This one's shorter, so he's down on the bottom. This fish lives very, very deep. He could very well live in 500 feet of water the majority of the year. But right now he was up in $150, and their noses are shorter because they're eating forage, eating minnows, eating gobies, eating eel pout down on the bottom. And that keeps their noses a little bit shorter. But let's get this guy back before he expires. You can just tell, there's so much spunk, and that fish goes straight down. We can even watch him on our markums. Just go straight back down to bottom. And again, there's zero concerns with releasing fish out of this deep of water. You could hear me when I landed that fish, you could hear him burp. All that air was expelling out of him. And that's his air bladder adjusting so he can swim back down. 150 feet, I'm fine catching and releasing fish out of that depth of water, especially when water temps in the wintertime are cold. Down there it's probably 36, 37, 38 degrees. And obviously up towards the surface, probably we're looking at 33. So cold water temps mean that fish release a lot better. hey, we're putting some numbers up today. Not giant fish, but very fun. And a giant can happen at any time. You just never know when that big fish could strike. So you got to stay ready. And when you feel a little bit resistance on your jig, set the hook and start reeling. Down here in the Apostle Islands, as contrasted to the North Shore of Lake Superior, it's all sand down here. So yes, we're on a pretty steep break, but it's all kind of big sand dunes underwater. But use that to your advantage. Get down there with your jig, kind of just pound the bottom, and what that does is it kicks up a plume of silt, a plume of kind of, it looks like smoke underwater. In lake trout, we've seen it firsthand on underwater cameras. Lake trout kind of see that out of the corner of their eye, and they'll dart right to it. So it kind of gives you a little advantage when, you know, there's not a ton of fish under you. Sit there and just kind of work the bottom and try to kick up a bunch of silt, make the biggest impression you can with your lure to try to attract a lake trout in.
Racing down. See my lure again.
Here it comes.
You see my lure again.
Oh my gosh.
Come on. Come on.
There we go. Yes. How's that one feel, buddy?
Feels really good. I had that thing just chasing for a while.
That was insane how he chased you.
Feels
Up
heavy.
and down and all around, man.
Yeah, it definitely feels like a heavy fish.
It looks
Finally
heavy.
got him to bite at 90 feet there.
Right?
Oh yeah, there we go.
That just shows you some lake trout, man. They just love to chase. Oh yeah, there you go. There you go. That's a better fish.
Yep, he's at 45 right now.
I just see my jig. Oh, that's a big one, Busker. That's big. That's big.
That feels
That's
big,
big.
buddy.
That's huge. This is what we need. This is huge. That's a big fish. My jig's in your line.
Oh, there he is. That's a big fish, guys.
This is what we've been waiting for.
Oh, there's the leader, bud.
I don't know what to do about my jig. Oh, it just came out.
Come on, girl. It's a nice fish.
That's a big one, buddy.
There it is. Come on, girl.
It's right there.
Here she comes. Scooper, bud.
That's a tub.
There we go, buddy.
Tub. That's a big fish.
Heck yeah, that's what we came here for.
That's a solid 12, 13 pounder.
Oh yeah.
That's
Nice
exactly
fatty.
what you come here for. And that's what
Sweet.
you waited out for. Look at this fish, buddy.
Heck yeah, man.
That's a big lake trout.
That's awesome.
That's a big, big lake trout. That's what a fish, man.
Yeah, that's
to catch
a
that through the
battle.
ice, how special
Jesus.
is that? Unbelievable.
Man, it took some coaxing to get her to go, too.
What a
and
fight, huh?
Just finally just crushed it. Heck yeah.
That's why you come out to Lake Superior, man. And
Yeah.
just put in your time and you can be rewarded with fish like this. Man, are they so strong.
Oh,
Ow, bit me.
She was hooked really good.
There we go. Look at that, but that's a big Lake Superior lake trout. I'm stealing all your glory here, but
That's all right.
I bet your arms are sore.
Oh yeah.
This is so cool,
love
man. That fish is, she's raring to go.
Heck yeah, man.
Oh, she drenched the lens.
Oh, that was sweet, man.
So out here on Lake Superior, it kind of seems like there's two moods for lake trout. The first being all out destroy, eat whatever in its path. There's really nothing you can do wrong. You drop your jig down, these fish fly up and they just crack it. When they're not in that mood, it can be very, very difficult to catch, as in they're not gonna chase you. They just don't seem interested in your bait. And that's how the mood's been for the past hour and a half, 2 hours. And when the fish are like that, and you'll notice it because you watch these fish and you mark them, like you'll see these marks come in and you reel up past them and try to antagonize those fish and get them to chase you and they just do not move. What I do is just resort to a simple lift and let my jig free fall back down into bottom and pick it up again. And again, I want slack line when it's going down. I don't want resistance, because it seems like the faster that jig falls through the water and crashes into bottom, the better. And what this does is it just kind of instigates those fish into pinning your bait on bottom. It's kind of more of a reactionary thing. They don't have to chase it up and expel a ton of energy. You know, when they fish are right there on the bottom, they can just kind of quickly kind of snap their head over and look at it. And it's more of a reaction bite. And when you pick up, you're gonna feel weight, and then you gotta reel and keep pressure and keep tension on your line. Again, if you're seeing lake trout that aren't chasing you up and down the water column, just resort to a simple lift and drop and let your jig free fall into bottom. And when you pick up, there's gonna be weight. Fish, that's
There
big.
we go.
That's big. That's big, Musker.
That's awesome, man.
Oh my goodness. Man, this gets your heart racing. We're not seeing fish chase us anymore, so I just resort to just pounding it off bottom, just kind of getting that mind-numbing action, a lift and drop, lift and drop, lift and drop. It's just boom, it happens so fast, you just gotta be ready. He's right here. Ah, it's a smaller one. It's a smaller one. He was just hooked a little funny though. But look at right here. He pinned it right on bottom. And I had him with the main hook and that treble hook. So he was coming up a little sideways there. So I thought he was a lot bigger, but that's just what these fish do, is they just pin these baits right on bottom. We're gonna get him back. That had my heart going. I thought he was a lot bigger than he was. He was kind of coming up sideways because we had him underneath his bottom jaw right here, but then this stinger hook kind of got him sideways coming up. But that's what we resorted to, because we're not seeing fish chase us anymore. They're just kind of right on bottom, not coming up. So I'm just lift and drop. And every time these fish always hit when you let this free fall into bottom, they pounce on it, and then you lift up and there's weight. So that's pretty much the only way that they're hitting right now, is with this bait right on bottom. So it's action, man. I love it. I mean, there's just so many days you can come out here and not catch a trout. So I don't really care what size fish we catch. It is just so much fun to get, you know, catch fish in 140, 150 feet of water on a rod and reel like we are here today. The Northland Bionic bucktail. Little chunk of meat on there and pounding it right on bottom, fish on. All right, well, I think our day is coming to an end, and I would consider that success. Yes, you can do a lot better, but you can also do a heck of a lot worse. And trust me when I say that, because I've done that about 5 or 10 times. So, you know, many days out here, you don't catch a thing, but when you do get lucky and see a few lake trout like we did today, you really gotta appreciate it, because it doesn't happen all that often. So, you know, 6 or 7 fish, I would definitely consider that success, and a good time on the ice. So thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time. We would like to thank you for watching this episode of Superior Angling TV. You can catch us every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. You can also join us on social media for weekly contests, behind the scenes photos, videos, and much more. Also, don't forget, check out superiorangling.com to shop our new apparel, available now.